Flash theme song. That was a spoiler. Hey guys! Welcome back. How are you all doing? Hit up that chat room right there so we can read your comments on this Flash episode 2, season 3 live stream.
Wow,
Nailed it.
You're nailing all of this.
A lot of numbers really kind of fly right over my head.
This isn't a show about math.
And look at that, starting only 3 minutes behind. That's not bad. That's pretty good. We're pretty good.
Knock it all over back.
I wish. But guys, today, like last week for episode 1 of season 3, we're going to be diving into Paradox. That's episode 2 of this season, and finding all the Easter eggs or hidden things that you probably missed from this episode. Really quick, how'd you like the episode?
I thought it was great. I didn't like it as much as I liked last week, but I think a lot of people disagree with me on that. Just because I don't love when my people are down, and when I saw Sad Cisco, right? I was like, I can't watch too much of Sad Cisco and like enjoy an episode. So that kind of like was like, all right, come on, fix it. But then they fixed it.
I'm a big fan of this episode. I think they fixed a lot of things from last week, and it seems like the season has a pretty clear direction, at least till mid-season finale. But we won't get too far into that. I believe there's a show on Friday.
Friday. What's happening on Friday?
I think you should tune in at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time this Friday for a little show with a couple more people talking about a few more shows. I don't know what it could be, though. But also, if you want more content like this, go ahead and check out our Supergirl Season 2, Episode 1 review or live stream that we did yesterday.
That episode was so good.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah, great episode of Supergirl.
A lot of hidden Easter eggs. So many hidden little things.
And a little bonus, tomorrow, I think there's another show we're going to talk about. That little arrow. That's season 5, episode 2. We're going to talk about it. Maybe we see more of Team Arrow building out, him being a teacher and whatnot. I'm very excited. But today, we're not going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about this episode of Paradox. And so hopping right in.
Some of the things you might have missed. Before the episode even starts, the episode is called Paradox. And what's that a reference to? Well, the whole thing is called the Flashpoint Paradox.
Damn.
So I think next episode is going to be called The. But, and so we saw the setup of Flashpoint and kind of like the immediate alternate universe he finds himself in. And now in Paradox, we're seeing a lot of the effects. So it's just fun that they're referencing the title again, but I think we might as well just talk about a little bit of the differences that have persisted after he fixed it.
Here's the quick synopsis.
You can't fix it, Barry.
No, you can't fix it. We're going to learn that in this episode. But quick synopsis, Barry discovers that the effects from Flashpoint are greater than he thought. In the meantime, he meets his new co-worker who has an immediate disdain for him. By the way, love that character. Tom Felton's awesome. But go ahead, let's kick it off with number 1. And number 1 for us today is Paradox, the title of this episode.
All that stuff I said 30 seconds ago, copy-paste it right here. That was number 1. Nailing it again. Yeah.
But there's a lot of, they dive into this episode a lot about the time travel problems, and specifically we start to see it with Team Flash. The one that hurt, I think, a lot of fans the most is what happened to, a little light over there. I think the one that hurt us the most from Paradox, which we have a fun little graphic for right there. Look how beautiful that art is from the Flashpoint Paradox movie.
Oh man, I love that comic, I love that movie. I love it a little more than I love how they did it in the show, but
still a good one.
Cool.
But
Let's go over some of the. But what were the ones? What's the one that hurt you?
The one that hurt us is definitely Cisco, and he in this episode we find out that there was a car accident a few months ago that lost his brother Dante, and he's been on the show before, and we'd actually seen him in Season 2 episode dealing with Earth 2 where he popped up as a doppelganger named Rupture, which is just like a fun little note that I wasn't able to say this when Rupture was on the show, and Dante, that same actor. Rupture was actually his third brother who got like ripped into the multiverse and became kind of like Vibe, which was kind of cool in my opinion. But
I was really shocked that they made it a drunk driver. I was like, oh, well, Zoom was hunting him previously, and I guess Barry didn't save him from the guy that Zoom had sent. And it's like, nope, drunk driving. And it's like, wow.
It's a serious one.
If you weren't sad before.
Oh, it gets worse. This episode had a lot of sad points. But moving on to number 2, we had actually kind of something fun. We had the introduction of a new character played by Tom Felton. His name is Julian Albert. And we did a little bit of speculation last time about who this could be. Who do we think he could be?
Are we going right to the spoiler of who he might be?
We said it last week, so we can go ahead. Here's a spoiler warning for possible future stuff, but who do we think he could possibly be?
So this could be the secret identity of Dr. Alchemy.
Ooh, little picture of Dr. Alchemy right there.
And why would we think that?
Because in the comics, there is a character named Albert Desmond, and he is one of the incarnations of Dr. Alchemy. And we'll get in a little bit later of what Dr. Alchemy can do, because you probably saw a little bit in this episode, or kind of an idea of what he is capable of. But that's our theory. I like his rapport with Barry, and how you always, if you have this cookie cutter good person who we've seen him mess up a lot over these past 2+ seasons. So I'm glad that there's somebody that's going to be able to keep him in check and make him better.
Did he remind anybody else of Dokes on Dexter? Where it's just
you brought this up,
Yeah, you work at a place where they investigate things, and you're right next to a person who's clearly up to something. If you're good at your job, you should recognize it.
Exactly.
I just immediately got that vibe of just, you guys might remember him as supplies, motherfucker. Surprise, whatever. But that character here a little bit just waiting to catch Barry, and it feels like he totally will, by the way.
He kind of did.
Seemed like he already kind of did.
And we'll get to that a little bit later on. But as we move through this episode, Barry's kind of trying to fix what he's done with Flashpoint, and that moves us to number 3, because this was something I like to look. We both like to look for the hidden things. Last episode, we were able to find Channel 52, and in Supergirl, Channel 25. And that was really fun. But with this, it seems like they're trying to build out Central City a lot more. Specifically with where Cisco is going for his grief counseling. It says right up there, it says Leawood Community Gym. And I believe I can do a little bit of zooming in here, because you taught us that one last on the Supergirl stream. What is that? A little zoom in.
And
beautiful.
We're real proud of ourselves
We are.
right here.
Well, Leawood Community Gym is a suburb within Central City, and it kind of just adds more depth to it. It's not just this kind of blob of a thing that Barry runs around. It's actually bigger, it's more dense, it's more of a complete world that he can visit.
What's fun is that they're not let's add neighborhoods. They went back and of course, when you have comics as old as the Flash, there's existing suburbs and neighborhoods. They went back, and if you go to the moment where they're in the police station and you see Joe's next to a map, if you zoom in on those, which I know Sam can, there's all kinds of suburbs that are on display, and we see Mounds View, Chubbuck, Lawrence Hills, Danville, New Brighton. Those are all, as weird as this is, canonical.
Yeah, right.
These are all things that have come up in the Flash comics for 50, 60 years or whatever it's been. And it's just fun where they're we're going to start expanding the different neighborhoods. And what's really cool about that is that just like a real metropolitan city, the neighborhoods have different vibes to them.
Yeah.
Of course, they'll all look like Vancouver.
Yes, and and they'll all start to look like Star City and now National City and Legends of Tomorrow, different time periods.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
They might have a ghetto, and they might have
a
butt high five. They might have a ghetto. They might have a really wealthy area, and you might start to feel these little different things and the different crimes that could happen amongst them.
Yeah, that's an opportunity for them at least this season, and maybe in future seasons as well. But as we move through this episode, we start to see Edward Clariss again, our friend from Flashpoint. But in this world, he seems a little bit more normal. Or nope, I jumped ahead. Anyways, we'll go to number 4. One of the better parts of this episode is that we got to see Felicity, because I love Barry and Felicity.
So Felicity on this version of the show is definitely way funnier and lighthearted, and I really miss this version of Felicity.
She fits better with Flash.
Way better. I wanted Felicity to hook up with anybody but Oliver Queen, even though I like her enough that I'm
big train of people with that same opinion.
Wynn would be good. Cisco would be good. Caitlin?
Anybody? Yeah, anybody. Yeah. You notice, we noticed this when we did Superhero Roundup, but, Oliver in scenes will not make eye contact with Felicity. She will always, looks above. And it's come on, man, you'll look at everybody else in the eye.
Chemistry.
Chemistry.
Just like the 40-year-old virgin poster over, just kind of stare. So we did find out a big answer to a big question. Did Flashpoint affect the other shows? Turns out they did, because they erased one little Diglett for another.
Diglett. We lost Sarah Diglett. She's She was named after Sarah Lance, the first
right.
canary. But now with Flashpoint, he has a boy now. A little boy.
But what was real cool about that, I mean, sad for Sarah no longer to have a namesake after her death, though she came back to life, so it's okay. Maybe he has a puppy named Sarah or something,
there you go.
which is a great puppy name. But what is a bigger deal, that little boy there, he said his name is John Jr., right? John Diggle Jr., which we found out in Legends of Tomorrow actually becomes, dun-dun-dun,
Connor Hawke.
Connor Hawke.
Why does he have the two names? No one knows.
Unimportant, but he actually has a third thing because he's basically the Arrow of his time period, which is in the not too distant future. And this just did a real kind of cool thing. It means that the future timeline that we saw in Legends of Tomorrow, we've now kind of gone back and readjusted the Arrow timeline to lead us there. Because it was like, oh, he doesn't have a son named John. Maybe he will, but now he definitely does, and so now we're on that same path.
Also kind of fun with Flashpoint is that it pulled in a lot of other existing timelines and comic book continuities and put it together into one like cohesive world. So this could be like an example of that, where we took a timeline that probably it shouldn't exist anymore, hopefully, because that was a dystopian crap fest. So maybe they just took a good part of that and put it into this.
See, I don't know though if it's going to stay that way, because if we, it could very easily, if they're going to go ahead and start merging parts of it, then is this going to be the timeline where eventually Oliver Queen loses an arm?
Ooh, I mean, that's also kind of cool. He had the robot arm, so I mean, like, it's not the worst thing in the world. But earlier, I jumped ahead, and now we're going to go ahead and hit you with number 5, because now we had Edward Clariss on the bus, who was a little cough. He was the rival in the premiere of this season. He was... that cough's still going to be there the entire episode. But anyways, we see him on the bus again. There you go.
Sorry.
There's his sweaty face. There's his sweaty, confused, time-limey face. But I wanted to bring this up because, go ahead and zoom in on that sweat. But I wanted to bring this up because he's remembering his Flashpoint life where he got to be the rival. And I think this is really cool because in the comics, speedsters have, with the connection to the Speed Force, they're able to tell that something is off, that the timelines have been rewritten, and they can actually have like physical effects to this. Like when Barry started to lose his memory, that's an example of this, and now the reverse is happening to Edward Clariss. And then we get a little nod of Dr. Alchemy still trying to kind of summon him, trying to lure him into his little base of operations, which we actually go with number 6 right here, because we get to see his little cult.
Right, so
Cool.
Dr. Alchemy has a freaking cult, and some of you might be like, ooh, speed cult? And it could be, actually, because there's a lot of rumors about whether or not the character of Savitar is going to come in, and he's normally associated with the cult. Right now, Alchemy is not, we don't know what his connection to that might be, so either this is his cult, or this could be the speed cult.
Ooh, look, there's Dr. Alchemy with his little obelisk in the back, or obelisk, however you like to say that. But it might mean something. Maybe it's maybe that's his connection to the Speed Force, or maybe that little, if you guys see right there, I'll go ahead and zoom in so you can see. Oh, a little zoom, a little flash joke. There's something right there on the obelisk. What is that? Maybe that will be something we'll see later. Not Prometheus, Alchemy uses on the Flash. But really quick, we'll show you guys what Savitar looks like. So that's why it's maybe Alchemy and Savitar kind of be merged into one character, and he does he has a cult where they sacrifice people and stuff for the Speed Force.
I wouldn't be surprised though. I'll tell you, we can bring it up again a little bit later, but he might get revealed later as a bigger bad.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, we got a lot of episodes to go through because it's the ZW.
I am a big fan of Savitar, and I think cults are always interesting storylines. But also, what's interesting? Oh, they're husks. With the number 7, because now we're seeing that this is definitely what Alchemy is doing to people. That's at least what we can infer from this. Something is happening to them where they're being they're shedding their skin, or maybe that's what's happening of them absorbing their
almost
flashpoints.
Being kind of reborn.
I wanted to draw this connection because I thought it would be kind of a fun tie to Flash Rebirth, which directly leads into Flashpoint, and that's the big story where you find out that Barry, the Reverse Flash being tied to his mom's death, and basically building out all of Barry Allen and not making him a boring character from like the 1940s. Bless you.
Thank you.
But probably it will just be kind of a fun after effect of what's ever happening, whatever Alchemy is doing to his metas. But Filup pointed out, like, if this guy's investigating it, might just be a Slytherin joke.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's just that, but I think it's kind of cool where it's like, oh, people who are represented by snakes shedding their skin and being slippery, hey, perfect match.
It could be fun. But as we move throughout the episode, we see Barry starting to get really upset because he's trying to fix these problems. It's not fixing it. And then he's like, don't worry, I could just go back in time again. It's like, Barry, you've done that twice, and it's just getting worse. So what happens? Ooh, he gets a talking to from...
The Flash.
The Flash.
Yeah.
The Dad Flash. Granddad Flash.
Dad jeans Flash.
There it goes. I mean, look at those jeans.
I love that.
Hold on. Let's go ahead and zoom in on those jeans.
So this is Jay Garrick.
Jay Garrick jeans.
Yeah.
There they
Gene
are.
model.
There you go.
The J stands for jeans.
Mm-hmm. And we actually go into a really fun conversation because in the comics, Jay is a mentor to Wally and Bart, who is like the second Kid Flash, and then eventually he becomes the Flash as well. Like everyone's been the Flash at one point in their life. So it's fun to see him take a different role from being Barry's biological dad, and them dealing with the fact that he's his doppelganger because they didn't say that at the end of last season.
For clarity, so it's John Wesley Shipp is the actor that plays both, and he is not. This is not like the guy who, I don't know what this is, who made Barry. Right? This is his father's doppelganger from a different universe. He is not necessarily, we're not like on a different Earth, by the way, in this moment. That was kind of confusing thing where he got pulled out of the timeline. Still same timeline, or same Earth. Jay had said he was going to keep an eye on Barry, and he watched him do this immediately. So this leads to that conversation. It was great. Such a good conversation between the two of them. Was one of my favorite scenes of the whole thing.
Oh, agreed. No, any scene with John Wesley Shipp is amazing. Like, remember first season where like it's always like I'm gonna cry at the end of your conversation between that pane of glass because you're like it's always gonna be like a really good life lesson that Barry's not gonna listen to or he's gonna fuck up just somehow.
But the thing you might have missed here is that not as specifically he talks about how he has tried to fix things too, and that's just like this huge thing to just drop there. Like, oh yeah, I've changed the timeline a bunch of times too, and
you're like, wait, what are you talking about?
I don't know what you did. Am I me? Am I different? Was I taller in another timeline? It's like,
no, we could maybe see ramifications of Jay Garrick's Flashpoint event in this. Like maybe he made Alchemy, maybe maybe that's his like result, or maybe it's just a Barry
and
thing.
Then you get a whole Sins of the Father storyline, which is pretty cool. But something specific that he says when they're talking to each other, this is our number 9 thing you might have missed. He references the fact, in fact, it's one of the best lines, we're not gods, we're men. And I really like that because first off, the entirety of the Flash character is based on the god Hermes. But then in the comics...
In Earth 2 specifically, in the New 52, they decided to, basically just doing quick comic book history right here, you'll see there's a Greek god, but in the original like comics of the days, like the 50s, there were 2 worlds. There's Earth 1 and Earth 2, and Jay Garrick lived on Earth 2, then they merged them, and now with the New 52, they split them back apart again. And with the split, they decided to play with the origins of the Flash and how he got his powers. And in this world, Hermes, the god of speed for the Romans, gave him his power, making him with this sick-ass costume, and now he's the new god of speed, which I'm a big fan of. That will not happen in this show, but it is fun to talk about gods every once in a while.
Yeah, well, specifically of all the heroes in the DC universe, quick little dab. I feel like the one most tied to god powers is the Flash.
Speaking of gods,
that's why also where the wings come from, the winged helmet. It's inspired by that too.
It tied in a lot better with if you have a god involved because it's like, oh, duh, of course. But there was another thing. Speaking of gods, you were able to find something that I'm a big fan of.
To me, the moment. So this is our number 10. The moment I saw this, I was like, oh my god, we're back there.
Who's that right there?
So that's a little James Vanderbeek, who is Dawson from Dawson's Creek.
No way.
And here's why this was huge to see for me at least. So we're watching this show on the CW. The CW used to be called the WB back when it was in its Smallville days. I think it was WB, right?
Yeah, it started out there and then it switched over. Even Supernatural was WB before they switched over.
So James Vanderbeek and Dawson's Creek, that was like the hit angsty teen show of that time. The fact that they have the WB in existence inside of the CW, it just like swallowed up the whole universe and made it TV. Also, I love like the music, Runaway Train or whatever was playing. It was just really nice. But my favorite thing about the fact that it was 1998 again is that they still just wore flannel.
Yeah.
And it was in style then too. Although a little late, but whatever.
Nice little touch. Someone pointed out, Jason Hill just pointed out that Hermes is Greek and Mercury is Roman. Thanks for the catch with that. Just wanted to make sure we're all clear. But as we move through the show, let's go ahead and hit them with number 11. Oh, Buffy was on CW?
Yeah, on WB before she moved to UPN. And then
gotcha. Yeah. Oh, very cool. But as we're moving through this episode, Barry's starting to try to apologize to people, I love that scene when he's in the little, what do they call that? That's part of the brain. It's you guys let me know in the comments down below. It's
Cortex?
Cortex, that's what it is. It's Cortex. That's where they all meet and plan and do Flash type things. But he's crying, he's apologizing to everybody, and he confronts Cisco. And you see Cisco working on somebody. What's he working on? Oh, a little Flash, a little 5 gauntlets.
A little Quake gauntlets.
Oh yeah, little Quake gauntlets. They do look a lot like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.'s Quake gauntlets. Gauntlets is a hard word to say, I'm going to be completely honest.
Not for most people.
But for me, it's something I gotta live with. But if you notice in this, with the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., those are for maybe holding her bones together so they don't
my favorite thing. It's
out.
My powers break my bones every day. And it's not good powers.
What's the downside of you? It's I'm lactose intolerant. It's no, my bones fly out of my body if I don't take care of them.
They turn to powder?
Yeah. No, they were they're splintering. So I'm oh God, that's awful.
Don't use your power.
But for Vibe, it's more focusing. It's more just kind of aim it a little bit better.
We have more to say about Vibe's outfit that he eventually is going to have, but that's a later number.
That's a later
come
number.
Back to that. But coming up on number 12. This is our second run-in with the rival, and it goes back to the same sawmill, the save location fee, and just let's shoot this all in one day kind of place.
Oh, for sure. They wrapped Wally, and they're okay, go ahead, start again.
And so here's where Dr. Alchemy shows up. And he's wielding, and this is really the thing you might have noticed, what we think is probably the Philosopher's Stone.
In the comics, mostly Dr. Alchemy wields this rock, this Philosopher's Stone, which kids at home, that's the Sorcerer's Stone from Harry Potter. Fun little tie back to Tom Felton. Because Americans, they thought they wouldn't know what the Philosopher's Stone was, and they thought that would be boring for American children. So they made it the Sorcerer's Stone. Anyways,
better word.
True, it's a little bit more fun. But Philosopher's Stone in the comics, Dr. Alchemy uses for transmuting. And if you guys remember the Firestone, that's what he can do, transmutation. Is he can touch something and turn one thing into another thing.
Right, usually you take a pigeon and you turn it into a flashy parrot.
Exactly.
Or a
usually it's lead to gold. That's that's what they do. That's what alchemy is, right? It's turning things to gold. That's what it is.
Well, it's the pseudoscience of trying to make things into gold. I tried to get them on colorful birds.
You almost got me, but I will not fall for that again. But also, fun little nod in the comics, Dr. Alchemy gets his rock from
He gets his rocks off from Merlin.
The animated series, which is pretty cool. Also, I wanted to bring this back because I zoomed in on it and I wanted to show you guys, back when we were looking at Alchemy's cult, that this obelisk in the background, there's some kind of marking. Maybe the rock is from that and he took it off, or maybe it's a mechanism that can transmute people. I don't know. These are just fun fan theories that you guys let us know if we're right or wrong in the comments down below.
Coming up next, this is one of my favorite things, number 13. It is I love whenever we just see something that's always been available to do and never been done before. And it's oh, you came up with a unique original thing. And we're talking about specifically when Barry, when they break off a little piece of headgear and uses it as a little mini shiv.
Shiv's a good one.
Lightning shiv.
Right here, because it's very dark, if you didn't know, in this shot. So we kind of tried to bump it up a little bit, but you can see the rival ripping off the little antennas or mechanisms right there.
Yeah, but we also were remembering that it's kind of similar to an instance in the comics when they acknowledge...
Justice League, the Justice League.
In the Justice League, when they acknowledge something is burning over there, and we're just going to pretend it's not.
Yeah, that's not happening.
It's just a
slight distraction.
Small fire.
Anyways,
but when they acknowledge, those things are probably sharp, right?
Yeah. In the Justice League cartoon, when awesome episode, it's when a bunch of the heroes get to go to this world.
And it's the Unlimited, right?
No, this is just Justice League.
In the normal one.
In the normal one, where they get to for some reason, Flash makes them transition to a world where it's like, it's a comic book that they all knew and loved. Side note, hey, Len, there's something popping and maybe burning over there.
Crackling over there?
Yeah, but if you guys can see right here, you can see the Flash. He had punctured this blimp and they're going down. It's fun to see. It's fun to see little nods to the
nods, but it's like,
series.
yeah, you're right. He has razor sharp things on the side of his head.
Are they the most practical things? No, but they're fun. But moving from 13...
Friction. They help with the friction.
Oh, yeah, for air so you can turn, right? It's so we can like rudders.
Yeah, you ever ran with a knife, you go faster.
Yeah, you just go... Dun, dun, dun.
Don't try it.
Don't run with scissors. Don't run with knives. Just run with your friends.
Allow fires to be in the same room as you, though.
But with number 14, we want to talk about the really cool team up that we've been waiting for like 2 years with. We had Vibe show up and use his little vibey things to take down the rival with Barry.
Yeah, now, a couple things here. One, remember, if you saw our episode last time on last week's Flash episode, which we did a little bit of a breakdown too, go watch it. We had all kinds of fun things. But one of them was that this whole event here at the Sawmill was a kind of repeat of the pilot of the Flash. And they kind of wanted to show, like, yeah, he's starting over. And in that, we had Joe show up and save the day, and I feel like, again, now we have a third timeline, so we go to the Sawmill a third time, and this time it's not Joe that saves the day, it's our boy Vibe, and when we see him, we now see the full version of the outfit that we were talking about, and my favorite thing about this is that he just ripped off his own
Reverb.
Yeah, he just saw Reverb saying, he's like, oh yeah, I could use my powers, goggles, yep, okay, cool, and he just ripped it off.
Yeah, because you guys can correct me in the chat if you'd like, or we'd appreciate it, but I believe the first round of goggles that he had were green, right? It was the green light behind those little like ridges that he has.
Barely remember, but I have a feeling that we're going to get an even more updated costume.
I was backing you up with the Reverb thing, because Reverb had the blue, so it was like, and took yours and put him right on there. Why not just cheat? I'm looking at your guys' comments in the chat. Alvin Sanchez says he needs a better costume. Of course, Vibe's going to get the legit treatment. If he's making everybody else's costumes, of course his is going to be so decked out.
His unnecessary leather will be better than any unnecessary
more leather.
We got the best leather.
Leather shirts. Leather. He's going to get a leather jacket to put over the leather shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
Leather shoes, leather
It's
pants.
8 degrees in Central City.
Oh, man, I'm a big fan of Cisco. But as we move throughout the episode, we're going to go ahead and hit you with a number 15, because now fight's done, we got the rival, he's taken away, and now we're having another powwow with Team Flash, and they're like, you know what, Barry, don't tell us about Flashpoint. That's going to come back to bite them, I'm feeling. That at some point, someone's going to find out something, and they're going to get mad about it. But we'll see in future episodes. But anyways, we find out that Alchemy is able to take Flashpoint characters' powers from that timeline and assign it to them in the current timeline. So we're thinking...
Well, first they kind of are like, oh no, metahumans on the loose. What are we going to do? There's going to be so many. But then there's that little like look over, because it's like anyone who had powers in the Flashpoint timeline. Look over, and who do we see?
Oh,
little Wally.
It's a Walter.
It's Walter Wester. Walt White. And and so that's like this huge thing that is just kind of sitting there where it's like, oh, Wally's going to get his powers back. We're going to actually have that little duo. I think it's going to be adorable.
And I'm thinking, personally, this is kind of like fun fan servicey things I would like to see with this. I would like Wally to kind of feel betrayed by Barry for not telling him that, like, hey man, you actually have like Speed Force powers. They're not manifesting yet in the main timeline, but like you get to be the Flash as well, which is awesome. Well, Kid Flash, yeah, Kid Flash. But when he might even like be so desperate as to go to Dr. Alchemy to like get to husk
me.
Go ahead and husk me, man. And he could be like an adversary for the Flash for a little bit. So like seeing Wally versus Barry could be really fun.
Maybe I'll say Wally, as they've written him, is very bipolar, and like sometimes he's like, "I'm your best bud," and other times he's like, "Man, I'm so mad at him for hiding this from us for 3 days."
It could just be moody. He could just be a little moody, and then he takes him out. But I feel like that could be a Flashpoint storyline that they could play around with. But moving through Flashpoint storylines, with number 16. Caitlin and Barry are talking, and I thought this was such a dick thing to say because Caitlin's like, he's like, you didn't really change too much. He's like, don't worry, dumb Flashpoint joke. Also, Barry, you fucked up the universe twice now, so don't joke about it, all right? But then we're teased.
You're an optometrist.
Yeah, it's like, isn't that so funny? It's like, no, Barry, because you turned her into Killer Frost. You gave Caitlin ice powers, which, like, she couldn't touch other people because of her powers. That's what Earth 2 version of Caitlin was saying. That's why she was with Deathstorm. That's because they would cancel each other out and they wouldn't hurt each other.
Right. Although his power comes from radiation, not like actual fire.
Yeah.
So it's like I go to see a doctor in like a year and you're gonna have so many tumors. So, like that's not how it works. But something interesting that you might have missed that she said is she actually flat out says like, hey, we all have our secrets, and they kind of like go right past that. But as soon as she said that, I was like, ooh, is something gonna happen? And then she's a ghost.
And she's gonna go ahead and phase through the walls.
Yeah, she's water mist.
Big twist. Big exactly. Flashpoint style twist.
She just turns into sand.
I wouldn't. We get a Sandman? We get like a Spider-Man Sandman in this show? But moving on to 17, we get a little nod to Iron Heights in this conversation as well. It's with Tom Felton and Barry. They're talking and saying that the rival, or Edward Clariss, is now at Iron Heights. And I wanted to bring that up because it's been mentioned many times in the show, but I don't think we've ever like done justice of like explaining it. Is that the Iron Heights is kind of like Bell Rev and Suicide Squad and like other like big name prisons in the DC world. Iron Heights is a big deal because it's one of the only ones that can actually handle metas, and we'll get to that in a second because we actually see a better solution for housing metas. But moving, that was just a fun aside we wanted to bring up. But moving to number 18. I
love this one.
We finally get the one thing we've been asking for over 2 years, and they've just been teasing us about it. We get this. Aww. I wasn't able to capture it. There's a light in between their mouths, and it happened at the end of season 2.
Yeah.
But if you watch it, like they go in and like get it, like they eat it together, and then when they come out, like she's kind of pulled forward a little bit so it's gone, or they turn the light off. So I'm not really sure.
They swallowed the light.
They swallow it. It's a Speed Force.
But the timeline did not reset.
It did not.
It was like there was a reset button between their lips normally. And it's just like, oh, damn it, and now you have no timeline. And this time the kiss lingers, and then after she remembers it, and it's like, oh, so nothing will ever be like that first kiss, though. That first one, I was like, damn, and like I felt it, and like my lips were quivering. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I mean, this could finally be the steps of making Iris West Allen.
The hyphenate.
Of God, just do it already. Just stop teasing us. Do that storyline. Then you could have like their Dawn and I think it's Dawn and Dawn, their kids. It's like they have Barry has twins, and then that leads to Bart. So you can have Bart Allen, like Impulse on the show, which
I don't
really
think
cool.
we have enough speedsters coming.
I know, right? There's just it doesn't feel like enough. Remember Trajectory? Who was there for a second?
There was a nice moment there where Joe's like, "We just got rid of Zoom. Now we got another speedster villain," and it's like,
man,
yeah,
it's
that's
the
what
show.
you guys do.
That's all you got.
That's all you have.
Dr. Alchemy will be interesting, and that actually moves us over to our last point, number 19, and even 19 we were able to find in this episode. But we get to see a better solution than putting them in tiny little boxes in Star Labs.
There's two things we're going to go into here, by the way.
You get the full treatment of a prisoner that's like legal and ethical.
He got a toilet.
Not only that, he also got a bed. He doesn't have to wear the same clothes he wore when he got captured. Like it's humane now.
He has enough room to lay down. Forget the bed. Just literally like before it was a phone booth size thing or whatever. It's just like, and no one's feeding you.
No.
Right? There's like no.
They did have a deleted scene where like they bring them Big Belly burgers, so it's just constant stream of
just cholesterol murder. Slowly.
That's the torture. That's how they're getting.
So this is actually kind of fancy. It looks like an Armenian nightclub or something, right? Like all booths and stuff. Like a lot of deals go down here. But something happens to our boy here, and we got a picture of that actually. Oh, do you have the arm? Here we go.
There's the arm.
And so it doesn't go so well, even though he's got a nice place. And so we got a lot of debate about whose arm we're looking at here.
It probably, if we want to go simple, it's probably Dr. Alchemy. But I think the more fun way of looking at this is that he's able to pull more metas over to his side, and all those followers we saw that were praying to their little idol thing are used like as his bidding. They're his henchmen. And I have a fun theory. There's a character that I want them to bring back. He was in season 1. He was in season 2 for a second, but like he's kind of But with this new timeline and Flashpoint and whatnot, Lord bless you, I would like them to bring back Girder.
Colossus.
I was like, because I thought the character was interesting, and I thought there's a lot you can do. There's a lot more you can do with this character. You don't need to die.
And he's not a speedster, huh?
No, he is not. God, please, for the love of God, not be another speedster. No, I want more speedsters. But I mean, you could. I think it'd be fun to bring Girder back, but his arm is different. Like some of you are gonna say, it's this in this version, it's the Colossus type. But I feel like, huh?
Oh, nothing.
But I feel like. It'd be fun if they made him look more comic accurate with his kind of suit of armor type, rusted metal look. I don't know. I think that's more fun. I think that it's more fun when they stick with the comic accurate stuff. But those are all.
I think it's gonna be Savitar, personally, because again, if they're building up toward a big bad or whatever, then this is a nice way to tease him.
Ooh, what do you think about this though? Looks like he's got some gauntlets on.
He did kind of got some metal arm looking stuff. So. Let us know who you think it is. Just looking real quick at who you guys say.
Turtle. It's definitely Paul Moles as the Turtle.
It's from Entourage. It's Turtle. Anybody else?
I like Movies for Real. Zombie version was dumb. You know what? It wasn't the best, but I won't say it's the worst. You know what I mean?
J. Ree agrees with me.
Oh, Ekul says Jesse Quick's speedster villain sounds fun. It sounds fun. I don't know if I'd be happy with it. I'd be a little bit bummed out, but that actually leads us to what we're going to see next week. I'm very excited. The episode's called Magenta, and we're going to be seeing Joey King, who is in Wish I Was Here, or Wish You Were Here. It's the Zach Braff crowdfunded movie.
Second movie, right? People got mad because he's a rich person who crowdfunded it.
Yeah, right. You could have paid for it, man. But
it's expensive though. But yeah,
she's a good actress, and Magenta's gonna be a fun character to see on the live screen. But we also get
Jessie Quick is next week, and she's a speedster. I like how she's even I'm a speedster.
Yeah, haha, Wally, kind of like a middle finger to you. It's like, hey, remember we were kind of flirting? Nah, screw it. I'm gonna go ahead and run around with the Flash.
And we get Harrison Wells back, and didn't he seem damn happy?
He seems fun. I think I might be a little happy. It's like, hey, my kid's got superpowers.
Yeah, this is cool. Fun.
It's dangerous, because of Flash reasons. But it's like, hey, it's got powers. Cool.
It doesn't make sense. He's gonna hate it, I'm sure. It'd be like, you have to stay here and you can't use your powers and blah blah blah. But in the moment in the trailer, he looked like he's having fun. We're gonna get into that episode obviously next week. Tomorrow, though,
we're gonna be hitting up Arrow season 5, episode 2. Very excited. We're going to be seeing his team dynamic and whatnot. And then Friday, tune in 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for a special kind of show where we're talking about
the superhero
heroes. There you go.
Yeah,
There'll be Filup, myself, maybe DJ, and maybe Matt.
Yeah.
As long as they're not sick.
Or real busy. But or there's a lot of reasons, I guess, that we shouldn't promise. But it'll probably be them. What's really cool, though, is that we're going to do that live, and you guys are going to play a big role in what we do on Friday. So if you can get caught up and watch the shows, because we're going to not only discuss them on Friday, but we're going to do some other stuff, and you guys will play a very big part of what happens to us and what we discuss on Friday.
I know it sounds cryptic and stuff, but we're really excited about it, and we want it to be kind of a surprise. But go ahead and make sure you follow us on Twitter, @SamBasher and @Fimo. Look at that right there on the screen, too. Yeah. Super easy. Thank you, Filup, for making that really quick.
Yeah, the tiniest Twitter handles we can show you.
But yeah, go ahead and follow us on there for more updates. Also, @SourceFedNerd makes it very easy for so you guys can stay up to date. You can also follow the subreddit as well. I'll be in there kind of writing posts so that you guys are up to date with everything. But yes, those are all 19 of the Easter eggs, things you probably missed in this episode.
Kind of 20, because the cell at the end was 2, but whatever. We have all kinds of huge horror stuff coming, by the way. That's all really interactive, and we have a lot of things that we need you to vote on, so check out the subreddit, because that's where a lot of the voting is going to happen.
There's a pinned thread at the top, makes it easy to find.
Yeah, /r/SourceFed, and we, there was something else, but I don't remember what it is anymore. So let's keep this conversation going, though, in the comments, but definitely on Twitter, things you guys might have missed.
I remember what it was. Tune in tomorrow at 4 p.m. PST.
Oh, that's tomorrow.
Here, that's
Yeah.
tomorrow. That's Thursday. Because we're going to be watching a scary movie. I believe the one that won, based on this little thread that he was mentioning, is Amityville Horror. And we're going to be actually watching it with you guys, and we have a way of syncing it up so we can all be on the same time. You can hop in whenever you'd like, and we're going to ask you guys to scare us. You're going to be sending in scares for the PAs and other hosts to come in.
We're not
and mess
allowed
with
to
us.
know how we're going to get scared, but that's also in the subreddit if you want to let us have any ideas for how to scare us.
I'm very excited. But I'm Sam Basher.
Filup Molina.
Man, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, for an Arrow review. We love you guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Yeah, I was whispering to them,
Oh.
because we're going to fade out. Did you like that? Little theme song, and we're going...